The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Diego Castro, bringing you the biggest headlines from around the world. Russian President Vladimir Putin addresses the public following an aborted armed mutiny. In a video statement, Putin thanked Wagner mercenary fighters and commanders who had stood down to avoid bloodshed. Putin added that he would honor his promise to allow them to relocate to Belarus or sign a contract with the Russian government and return to their families. Wagner head Yevgeny Prigozhin said he never intended to overthrow the government and only did it as a demonstration of protest. He explained that his goal was to prevent his militia's destruction and force accountability on commanders who had botched Russia's military campaign in Ukraine. Prigozhin shocked the world by leading Saturday's armed revolt, only to abruptly call it off as his fighters approached the capital.
Благодарю тех солдат и командиров группы «Вагнер», которые приняли единственно правильное решение. Не пошли на братоубийственное кровопролитие. Остановились у последней черты. Сегодня у вас есть возможность продолжить службу России, заключив контракт с Министерством обороны или другими силовыми органами, либо вернуться к своим родным и близким. Кто хочет, сможет уйти в Белоруссию. Данное мною обещание будет исполнено.
U.S. President Joe Biden maintains that Washington and its allies were not involved in the Russian mutiny. On Monday, Biden addressed the dramatic power struggle that erupted over the weekend in Russia. He said he had directed his security team to give updates and talk to key allies on a video conference. The U.S. President said he and his team would continue assessing the fallout from the incident. He noted, though, that it is still too early to reach a definitive conclusion about where this is going.
The situation began to develop as it did. I directed my national security team to monitor closely and report to me hour by hour. I also convened our key allies on a Zoom call. They agreed with me that we had to make sure we gave Putin no excuse. Let me emphasize, we gave Putin no excuse to blame this on the West or to blame this on NATO. We made clear that we were not involved. We had nothing to do with it. This was part of a struggle within the Russian system.
The European Union increases the military aid fund for war-torn Ukraine. EU countries agreed to increase the maximum size of a fund used to finance military aid for Ukraine. The ceiling was raised by 3.5 billion euros to over 12 billion euros. Sources said the bloc's top diplomat, Joseph Borrell, had asked governments to raise the financial ceiling on the European Peace Facility, which has already allocated some 4.6 billion euros for Ukraine. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now World. I'm Diego Castro, Kyriakos Mitsotakis secures a second term as Prime Minister of Greece. His center-right New Democracy Party got 158 seats in the 300-seat parliament in the repeat election on Sunday, well ahead of his leftist rival. The PM promised to push ahead with reforms to rebuild credit rating, boost tourism revenue, and increase wages to the European Union average. 55-year-old Mitsotakis, scion of a powerful political family, was Prime Minister from 2019 until stepping down in favor of a caretaker premier. A 23-year-old man was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of a parole over a 2022 shooting at a gay nightclub. Anderson Lee Aldrich pleaded guilty to 5 counts of first-degree murder and 46 counts of attempted murder. This comes nearly a year after Aldrich opened fire at a nightclub in November last year. While Colorado no longer has a death penalty statute, Aldrich could still face a death sentence if prosecutors decide to bring charges under the U.S. Code. Spain faces its very first heat wave of the year. Gardeners have been forced to stop working while children splash under fountains amid the scorching heat. The heat wave is expected to last until Wednesday, with thermometers in some areas set to hit up to 42 degrees. According to the Spanish State Weather Bureau, heat waves in June have become more frequent in recent years. Experts said this is part of a global pattern of rising temperatures widely attributed to human activity.
Ya nos hemos acostumbrado a tener olas de calor en junio, pero realmente hasta hace 10-12 años no era nada frecuente. Teníamos una ola de calor en junio cada 7 años aproximadamente, y en los últimos 12 años se ha triplicado la frecuencia de olas de calor en este primer mes del verano. Claro, los veranos, ya lo hemos comentado desde AEMET muchas veces, se alargan, le van ganando terreno al otoño y sobre todo a la primavera. Casi 7 días por década de comienzo temprano del verano.
And those are the top world headlines of the hour. Join us again at 9 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. Coming right up is Agenda at 8 a.m. I'm Diego Castro. We are One News, all sides, all the time.